Hey, VV Nation, it's the day after the Super Bowl, and I wanted to do a quick video on some of the Super Bowl ads that were done in last night's game. Hopefully, the game turned out the way that you wanted to, but if it didn't, well, hopefully, there's always next year. So, this is going to be a fun, lighthearted video about many of the stocks that were presented or the ads that were presented in the Super Bowl, which is very widely watched. Do you know that on a typical Super Bowl night, that about $500 million is spent on ads to be presented on the Super Bowl because they've got a big audience. So we're going to take a look at a list of stocks that I'd look at from last night's game and see how super these stocks are and will they bowl you over. Let's get straight to the system. Here's my list. I'm not going to do any news. This is all about the stocks that were in the ads last night, starting with T-Mobile. Love the Grease ad with John Travolta and the two guys that do the T-Mobile commercials. That was really cool. I keep forgetting that John Travolta can sing. Workday, which is, I've done a video on that as an AI stock. Google, there were a lot of Pixel commercials out on the Super Bowl ads last night. GM, talking about with Will Ferrell, linked up with Netflix, showing that Netflix and the electric cars could be having the movies shown in them. Well, I had to go with Stellantis if I'm going to be looking at GM. And a lot of people out there know what Stellantis, well, a lot of people are looking for in Stellantis for a different stock. That's a different story for a different time. And because EVs are making a big splash in the Super Bowl commercials, I put in an ETF for the electric cars. Disney. I didn't realize that in October of 2023, Disney will have been around for 100 years. I did see that, and they did a nice ad, I think, on the Super Bowl commercials with them spanning their whole time being Disney. Pepsi, a lot of acting. Steve Martin, a couple of other people were doing ads for Pepsi. Actually, Pepsi One, the sugar-free, of which I like to drink. I'm a Pepsi guy, not a Coke guy. Amazon, DoorDash, their Uber. Did I not have Uber in here? I need it. If it's not in here, it needs to be in here. That was a funny commercial with Diddy don't do jingles. But then you got Uber One. Uber will save me, will save me. Now that's going to be in your mind for a minute, and I think that that's what they wanted it to be. So Uber is in there. That was a big commercial as well. Amazon, DoorDash, Budweiser. I think Budweiser has been in Super Bowl commercials since like forever. Molson and CrowdStrike, another AI stock, but protection, computer protection with the Trojan horse. CrowdStrike was in there. So I've got 16 stocks here that I took, more or less the more popular stocks in the space that we know about. The first thing I want to do is sort all of these by VST. The top stock by VST is T-Mobile, followed by Workday, followed then by Google, followed then by Stellantis, General Motors, Skechers. Skechers was funny with Snoop Dogg. And there's my ETF for electric cars. And then the ones that were the weakest were Pepsi, Amazon, DoorDash, Budweiser, Molson, and CrowdStrike. All right, so that's the best combination of value, safety, and timing. Let's see what stocks had the biggest upside potential. Let's sort the 16 stocks by relative value. T-Mobile at the top of the list once again, followed by Stellantis, GM, Google. Not every stock, not all of the stocks, actually not most of the stocks had relative values above one, which means that these stocks have a higher potential to outperform the market over the next 1 to 3 years. Which ones consistently made money? The safer stocks. T-Mobile at the top of the list again, followed by Alphabet, Skechers, and sorting by relative safety. These are companies that make money quarter over quarter, year over year. Netflix is up here. Now, let's talk about the stocks that are moving the fastest. We'll sort by RT. The power of a VectorVest watch list, folks, is invaluable. Uber now is moving the most. I'm telling you, that commercial with Diddy, Uber One, Uber will save you. I'm telling you, it's going to stay in your mind. Workday, Disney up there. Disney is going to have to come back from a PR thing that went on prior to Iger coming back. And I think that was another reason why they helped to bring Iger back. I think that the change in management in Disney will go a long way in bringing it back where it used to be way back in the days. Notice that a lot of the stocks in the list have RTs above 1. Now, with everything else going on with T-Mobile at the top of the list, the biggest thing for me is that the relative timing is flat. I'm wondering if the ads will help to push it higher. Anheuser-Busch, Bud, Pepsi, Molson, CrowdStrike. Now, you look at the stocks at the bottom of the list. They spent a lot of money to put these ads out there on the Super Bowl. Was it well spent? And I think that as time goes along, we'll have to take a look. All right, so that's our analysis by looking at the stocks. Let's go put these on a 3-month graph. Uber, 3 months, 388's pulling back a little bit. Be careful with it. Workday leveling out. Now, it's interesting that as I watch some of these stocks pull back or level out, keep in mind what's going on in the market. If the market is trying to do a pullback after being overbought, a lot of these stocks will be affected adversely. The whole idea is to look, are any of these stocks worth your time right now to get into them? Now, GM, I like the big open candle. Leveling out, the 388 haven't failed yet. I'm looking at Netflix, it has failed. I'm looking at DoorDash, the 388s have failed. Cars, it has failed. Stellantis, on the other hand, so now there's a couple of stocks that I like from the list where from a technical standpoint, looking at moving averages, they are still moving up. Skechers falling, Amazon falling, Google falling. I'm glad we did the analysis first before looking at the graph. Now, T-Mobile, though, is it back on the rise? Look at the 3 and the 8 are about to cross on end of day after coming off a level of support. Budweiser, same scenario. They are converging higher even though they haven't crossed yet. Woo, Pepsi, look at that crossover coming off support on good volume. RT is picking up. Man, something I want to keep on my radar. Molson, not quite right now. CrowdStrike, not quite right now. So, folks, the whole idea was to go over some of the commercials that were out there. Kia Motors did the Binky Dad, which I thought was a cool commercial as well. Duncan did the commercial with J-Lo and Ben Affleck, which was kind of cool as well. There were a lot of memorable commercials that were out there, and I just wanted to take a look at some of the stocks to at least keep on your radar. A couple of them I still do like right now, but with the market's direction, 80% of the stocks move with the direction of the market. Many of these stocks are pulling off or pulling down. But remember, these companies spent a lot of money to put these advertisements in front of your face. Oh, one last commercial. You remember the Tubi commercial when that came on? And it looks like Tubi took over your TV and everybody had to be wondering, what the heck just happened? That was cool. That was really cool. And I think it caught everybody's attention. So we can look at from Netflix, from Amazon, from Google, from Tubi, from Hulu. A lot of streaming products were on display as far as commercials as well. Hopefully, folks, you like this video. If you did, hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And tomorrow, I've got a great video for you at 6 p.m. as well. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a loving video. With that, folks, this video is over. And until the next time, see ya.